Call this regular open council meeting of today, March 3rd to order. Thank you. I will note that a live audio video feed is being broadcast and recorded via Zoom. It is available on the Town of Golden YouTube page. We have Councillor Hambrook and Councillor Dale attending remotely. And we have the remainder of council around the table. We also have senior staff around the table. Short, Mr. Petrovic, as there are no items for him this evening. With that, I'd like to note that for thousands of years, the abundance that the earth's lands and waters provide us to live, work, and play is due to the ecological wisdom, stewardship, and the reciprocal relationship that the world's first peoples have lived and live today. I'd like to begin by acknowledging that the land in which we gather is the shared ancestral territory of the Ktunaxa and the Secwepemc people. Golden is also home to the Métis Nation, Columbia River Society, and other diverse Indigenous heritage. We are grateful to have the opportunity to live and work in this territory. Ms. Seville, are there any late items?
There are no late items.
Excellent, thank you. Council, I'm looking for a motion to adopt the meeting agenda as presented. Councillor Routley, Councillor Guillo. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried unanimously. Council, we have the minutes of the regular open council meeting that was held on February 17th for adoption. Looking for a mover. Councillor Routley, Councillor Guillo. Council, any errors or omissions in those minutes? Seeing, hearing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Carried unanimously. And council, is there any business arising from those minutes that you want to bring to the table that is not going to be dealt with in the agenda tonight? Seeing, hearing none, we will move on to delegations and presentations. Chriselle, you have a partner with you. Please welcome. We have the Executive Director of Local Food Matters making a presentation to council to share the findings of the 2025 Local Food Production Assessment.
We're receiving a lot of information. We can very quickly to ask questions at the end. We wanted to take this opportunity to share with you the findings from our local food production assessment.
Am I on? With the agronomist and mapping expertise of Keeper Ecological. Through 2 community roundtable events, a producer survey, and one-on-one interviews, we were able to connect with over 80% of known agricultural operations, which really captures a clear picture of our local food system. And so this is beneficial not only in informing the direction of our work as an organization, but also illuminating opportunities for local government to support strengthening of our local food system and our local food economy. The capacity of our local food production is critical to community food security. In these turbulent and vulnerable times for our global food supply, it's essential to build resilience into our food system so that the way we procure and distribute food can adapt to challenges like climate change, pandemics, and supply chain issues, while also being economically sustainable, decentralized, and inclusive. Golden's food system is characterized by a strong but fragile local food base. The region supports a diverse and resilient group of food producers with high rates of diversification, and Golden and CSRD Area A benefit from a committed and skilled base of food producers, processors, and community organizations. However, local food production operates with clear environmental, economic, and infrastructural constraints. The intent of the recommendations in the report is to protect existing food production capacity, remove systemic barriers, and enable gradual, realistic expansion, while recognizing that local production must be complemented by regional food flows to achieve long-term food security. So it won't come as any surprise to any of us that food production in Golden operates within clear environmental constraints. So significantly, the mountainous terrain constrains the best farmland to the flat valley bottom where community development also primarily occurs. Converting raw land from its ecological default of forest is expensive and often not cost effective for agriculture. And this links to the finding that the highest agronomic capacity is found on existing and historic farmlands where generations of rock picking and soil building have occurred. And this leads to a strong priority to keep existing farmland in production. We are all aware that the growing season in Golden is short, and specific infrastructure such as storage and greenhouses or other season extending infrastructure is required for local food to be available between November and April. And lastly, water access and quality is highly variable across the valley, ranging from excellent to inadequate. And like elsewhere, farming is particularly vulnerable to extreme weather events. The quote from the earlier slide identifies agriculture as a difficult livelihood, where in lieu of high profit margins, farming is often subsidized by producer passions. And this is a pretty relevant characterization of farming in our area, where more than 60% of farmers earn income from off the farm. And this limits their capacity to recruit and train employees or to invest in the infrastructure that might allow them to scale their businesses. Add to this high land values under pressure of development, and it makes it extremely difficult for new entrants into the farming sector in our region. Labor recruitment and retention surfaced as a priority challenge for farmers, not unique to the agriculture sector in our community, but they struggle to recruit people given the seasonality of work, as well as the need for transport and available and affordable housing for prospective employees. Linked to both the environmental and the business viability constraints are infrastructure gaps. The high cost of climate-controlled growing infrastructure limits producers' ability to grow year-round. Likewise, the high cost or lack of cold and dry storage limits producers' ability to store and distribute over the winter months. From food makers, processors, and chefs, we heard that the lack of available commercial kitchen space limits our community's ability to incubate new businesses. And we've encountered that challenge directly ourselves, actually, in the delivery of our school food programs, while lack of food-safe processing facilities inhibits the ability of these businesses to scale. So I think it's important to highlight that in spite of these constraints, 80% of surveyed producers indicated that they would like to grow their businesses and increase their production. So this is great news for Golden's food system. I also want to highlight that investments made into supporting our producers to increase their production capacity should not be viewed just through the simple economic metric of a business support. It's important to consider farm businesses as community assets that are critical to food security, critical to resilience and wellness, and very much worthy of public investment. To this end, we consider supporting year-round local food access as a top priority for community food security. And this can be done through small-scale infrastructure investments in food storage and climate-controlled or season-extending production infrastructure like greenhouses. Underpinning all food production in the valley is the need to consider water and irrigation infrastructure as critical to food security and to take a strategic approach through investments in these assets, not only as they relate to food production, as well as resource management, but also as they relate to emergency preparedness with the increasing prevalence of wildfires. And specifically requested from producers is coordinated distribution services, which connects directly to the second recommendation of supporting market access through intermediaries. This recommendation surfaced in response to a recurrent theme of coordination services requested by both producers and chefs alike. On the one hand, producers wear all the hats and there's a real risk of burnout when they're stretched too thin. Producers identified that relief from sales and marketing would allow them to focus on production, with 44% identifying support with sales channels and marketing as the strategy that would best support their business growth. Interviews with local restaurants, processors, and retailers identified convenience as the key lever to improving access with local food, with one processor requesting something like a Cisco rep for local food. This report recommends exploring the role of a local food agent. I see that's not really clear. Coordinating distribution through multiple channels in the community. 55% of producers identified labor and recruitment as a priority for the maintenance and growth of their farm businesses. Again, we know this challenge is not unique to the agriculture sector, which is why we believe a systems lens is required to overcome this challenge, as it's directly linked to housing availability, cost of living, and transportation. That said, recommended actions to address farm labor challenges specifically include support for farms to better leverage producer wage subsidies and shared labor models. Following that theme of shared resources is the recommendation to invest in small-scale production equipment to increase production efficiency that can be rented or shared among small-scale producers. Items such as an egg washing or grading table, barrel washers, or tractors with various implements. As with all rural communities, resilience in the local food system in Golden requires a regional lens. Regional food connectivity is essential for increasing year-round access to farm products not produced locally, improving distribution efficiency, and supporting economies of scale. Significant work is underway in the development of a regional food network with projects across the Basin, Shuswap, and Okanagan emerging with promising and integrative solutions. And these initiatives represent a significant opportunity for Golden to connect to the regional food flows. We believe it's a priority to engage with regional partners in the planning and design phases in order to integrate Golden's needs into the larger plan. And connected to the previous recommendation for coordinated local distribution, it's strategically important to embed these regional supply chains in the local systems. So even as these findings were emerging last year, Local Food Matters began to identify the role that our organization can play in filling some of these gaps and strategically positioning ourselves in such a way that we can offer some of the coordination services requested by food system actors. So you're all aware of the Growers Collective Farm Hub, that proposal for containerized aggregation and online distribution that we've been pursuing over the last year. The vision we were proposing was of this cold storage infrastructure embedded into the context of a community farm on which small incubator-sized market plots grow for the community through the Farm Hub distribution platform. The Farm Hub plus community farm model speaks directly to a significant number of the gaps and challenges identified in this report. The Farm Hub allows us to explore our potential as a local food agent and develop sales channels with local restaurants that are currently underserved with local produce, and provide the storage infrastructure that allows growers to increase their production for winter distribution. And we've been developing this initiative in tandem with the Food Shed, which is an emerging food hub in Armstrong, BC, that's working with Shuswap growers, as well as building connection with the Summerland Food Innovation Hub in the Okanagan. The Community Farm Initiative represents an opportunity to address land access barriers by providing service market garden plots adjacent to storage and packing and distribution infrastructure. Through this model, further exists the opportunity to pursue shared labor and equipment programs, as well as to access nonprofit funding streams to support the installation of greenhouse infrastructure. Alas, last week, a day after this slide deck was submitted, the landowner at Anderson Road terminated lease negotiations, citing concern over the potential for perceived impropriety of public dollars invested in private land. And so this has triggered a pivot of the vision of this initiative that separates the Farm Hub from the community farm separates those projects so that we can focus on establishing the cold storage in a way that more closely aligns with the needs of the community food access programs at the Golden Food Bank. In this iteration, the containers become like a food bay adjacent to the Golden Food Bank, where they're better able to manage pallet scale donations and deliveries while Local Food Matters operates the aggregation and distribution. These containers are funded and anticipated to arrive in June of this year. Development of the online distribution platform is well underway with established grower and restaurant partners, regional transportation arrangements, and a projected soft launch of a wholesale and school food provision corresponding to the 2026 growing year. Given the readiness of the program to move forward and the infrastructure to be installed, we feel compelled to add into our time with you this evening a last-minute request to council to direct staff to evaluate the potential of siting these containers on or adjacent to the food bank lands. Preliminary conversations with the food bank have yielded a shared desire for this infrastructure to be in proximity to the food bank, and they have shared a letter of support for this request, envisioning on or adjacent to the southwest corner of the food bank's lands as a potential location. We have also had, in the last few days, informal confirmation from the CBT of funding support for the electrical and water hookups if these containers are connected to a lease for municipal lands. So we believe that there is real potential for a successful outcome of this arrangement. So I'm not exactly sure where we are with our time. We had intended to speak to you about how we have taken the recommendations from the local food production assessment and translated them into recommendations for Golden's OCP. And with whatever remaining time we have here, I will pass the mic, as it were, over to Lindsay, who can speak a little bit about our recommendations.
We have a couple minutes left, so it's probably best to flush this one out and leave the OCP information.
Okay, if questions are happening in this time allotment, yeah, absolutely. We can focus on the matter at hand and save the OCP comments.
I think the only thing we just wanted to share is that it's happening. I think there is a provision of the OCP recommendations that was provided before the meeting as well for your review, and that Christella's entered into the process with the OCP consultants to share the learnings from the food assessment. So it's more just to say that, and then if there are questions specific to those recommendations, we're happy to field them as well.
Okay, thank you for that. Council, any comments, questions? Councilor Guil?
I have a couple. With regards to the OCP, there's a process that everybody puts their information through. So it's not, I don't think it's fair if one group comes in and wants to have their topic ahead of all the other groups in town. We don't decide what is presented in the OCP to us.
This was primarily for information
Yep.
because it comes from the report that we are providing.
So did
and
that
the summary.
OCP information get distributed to the contractors that are?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the information's into the
Yes.
process,
Okay.
which is a critical point as you're drawing attention to.
Right.
Yes.
The other questions with regards to this, moving it to the food bank. You're saying the south, where are you like?
So it's in the place that they're looking at is in like the corner of the lot, where their gardens are and near the road and a walkway that connects to the river path.
So that area that's actually, I don't think that's part like that little walkway through there, I don't believe is.
Not the walkway itself, but adjacent to it.
Okay. Has this been brought forward to staff?
I had the opportunity to speak to Phil about it briefly this afternoon. This is also, it's emerging and we feel like there is a time sensitivity to it, which is why I bring it forward tonight as opposed to waiting or delaying.
So the specifics are a request from the from Local Food Matters to direct staff to investigate the concept of the hub, is that a proper definition?
Sure, yeah.
To be located on the food bank Town of Golden property.
On or adjacent, I think I would
Okay.
specify. On Town of Golden property.
Councilor Manuel, you moving that?
No, I was just gonna ask a question.
So maybe we'll, okay, we'll deal with the question first, please. Go ahead.
I know, trying to make it brief, but since much of your talking is farms and that's CSRD, I'm just wondering if you've spoken to Ms. Cathcart, the director there, and made her aware of what you're interested in and, you know, and the benefits of it.
Of the farm hub specifically? Yes, yes. And from this local food production assessment, we will also be presenting to the CSRD board with recommendations for the CSRD pertaining to farmland as well.
Thank you.
So to that end, oh, look at that amazingly. To get the conversation going, I would move that. I'd look for a seconder. Councilor Routley seconded, and then speaking to the motion. The one thing that comes to my mind really quickly is what are the long-term impacts of that to that site? And that's part of that process for staff. So I think there's value in staff looking at that. I appreciate that Local Food Matters has had to pivot, and I'm hearing pivot within the last 24 hours is basically what I'm hearing. It's very unfortunate that you weren't able to pursue that concept of a community farm associated with the food hub. That is quite unfortunate, but we need to, in my mind, we need to explore options that are available. Any other speakers to the motion? Councilor Cooper?
I just want to ask a question when I was looking at the map. So it's not, you're not asking for where the horseshoe pits were. Are you, or I'm just trying to, I was trying to
Not
look at them.
specifically, we'd like to look on the right-hand side of the walkway, which we believe to be food bank property, although we were just reviewing their lease and another map that Phil shared. And so we're just a little unclear about how much space exists there. And I've added the word adjacent to open the possibility of the horseshoe lens and the tiny corner of it adjacent to the walkway, but that's not the primary focus.
But
So
that would
the
all
intent
come
of the
back
motion-
from.
Absolutely. The
thank you.
intent of the motion is to have staff look at this, look at the maps and bring back some information. You had spoken to some real time constraints. Do you have any details on those?
Certainly, yeah. So the deposit has been paid on the containers, and on the same day that we received notification of the termination of the lease discussions, we had also hit go on the modification on the containers. So we have actually successfully just put that on pause because we would hope to be able to configure the containers to best suit whatever site they locate on. However, we have two other funders involved in the acquisition of those containers, one of whose money would like to be spent by the end of March, and the other funder is the CBT. And as I said, we've had some direct connection with the CBT who are willing to support this project in diverse ways, and I think are most supportive of it on municipal lands.
Okay, and the other funder, I'm assuming is Ready Grant?
It's Farm to Cafeteria
Farm to
Canada, so the deposit was paid with the Ready Grant from last year.
Okay. Thank you. So the motion on the floor is to have staff investigate and bring something back to council. Any further discussion on that aspect of it? Seeing, hearing none. All those in favor of the motion? Opposed? That's carried unanimously. Thank you very much. And you have to be flexible and pivot,
Indeed, if
challenging.
I might share, I don't believe the conversation around a community farm is closed. I believe that it is open in a more robust and solid way with the trust expressing interest in supporting, and then maybe that's an overstatement, with the trust expressing willingness to consider land acquisition for a community land trust. So I feel like there is a more robust and longer term process for envisioning a community farm that's not directly linked to this infrastructure.
Thank you for that. And thank you very much for the presentation and your continued endeavors.
She's
Thank
the-
you.
She's the roller coaster riding queen. Thank you for your time.
Okay, with that,
Thank you.
council, we'll move on to correspondence. I'm looking for a motion that the external items of correspondence be received. Counselor Rowley, Counselor Cooper. That one. Seconding that motion, my apologies. All those in favor? Opposed? I have to do some clicking here. Sorry, my apologies. So we have 3 items that are action items. The first one being a correspondence from the BC Association of Farmers Markets, talking about that in March of 2025, the Ministry of Health renewed funding support for the 2025 BC Farmers Market nutritional coupon season. It talks about the positive impacts on our community, and that 60 lower income households redeemed almost $26,000 worth of coupons at the Golden Farmers Market in 2025. The request to us is, I guess that funding is not in place for 2026. BC Association of Farmers Markets does not have secured funding for the 2026 program and beyond. And they're asking us to send a letter to the Honorable Josie Osborne, BC Minister of Health, demonstrating the importance of continuing expanded funding investment for the BC Farmers Nutritional Coupon Program in our area. We'll go on to the second one. No, not that one, which is a correspondence from Mr. David James, drawing to our attention our procedural bylaw with regards to public hearings. Also drawing attention to some perceived inappropriate language. And that the matter be formally acknowledged and that council reaffirm its commitment to respectful, good faith engagement with the public. And it's requesting an apology from the councillor involved. And I'll go on to the third one. The third one is an invite, I believe, from the Golden Co-op Radio Board. They are updating us on their CRTC application and provide us an opportunity to subscribe to their newsletter. And also the invite for the annual general meeting on March 6th from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. in the basement of the library. Those are the 3 items of external correspondence that are requesting actions. What's the desire of council? Councillor Manuel?
The first piece of correspondence from the BCA farm, whatever, sorry. Yes, support them. All they ask for is a letter and they do a lot of good.
So making a motion that we send a letter to the Minister Osborne with regards to the Farmers Market Nutrition Coupon Program. Oh my gosh.
It's magic.
Is there a seconder? Councilor Guido seconding that? See, I think it, I say it, and it appears on the board. Any discussion on the motion? Councilor Dale?
No, just voting in favor preemptively.
You're ahead of the queue a little bit, but all those in favor? Opposed? Carried unanimously. Councilor Rutley?
Thank you, Mayor. At this time, I'd like the opportunity to the names because those comments that he's referring to were my own. I'll start by sharing with council that after reviewing the agenda on Friday, I did reach out personally to Mr. James to share a bit of what I'm about to speak to now, as well as to offer the opportunity to discuss his points further. And I feel that our conversation yesterday was quite productive. I've prepared statements on this matter so as not to try to refrain from future figures of speech. But I'll quickly say, the mayor's point around the perception of inappropriate language. It perhaps is a fair assessment, but I would say that, in fact, in this case, likely would be a fair assessment from Mr. James. That of course at that November 20th regular open council meeting, upon seconding the first reading, I'd referenced the sharpening of pickaxes and then corrected myself to pitchforks, in describing how strongly the community reacted to the earlier version of that project back in I think it was 2023. My intent in using that language was to acknowledge that intensity of feeling and certainly to emphasize that that moving to public hearing was about creating that formal, structured space to have that input received by the public. I understand, however, that figures of speech can land differently with different people, and again, I want to reinforce that the wording could be, and certainly was in this instance, interpreted as characterizing concerned or engaged residents in a dismissive way. In no way, shape, or form is that my intent, and I do regret that it may have come across that way. It is not my intent. My intent at that time was to recognize that the frustration in our community around housing and long-term affordability is real. It's been present for nigh on 2 decades, as evidenced in the current official community plan. And residents who show up, write letters, and speak passionately about issues that they care about and are of broad community concern are doing so because they care deeply about our hometown, and that engagement is essential, not only to the good work that we do here at this table, but broadly for the community. And as such, it deserves the full respect. And in acknowledging that respect, and yet using the figures of speech that I did, rather ironically failed to really capture the respect that I have for those opinions. So these are difficult conversations moving forward around the OCP renewal, zoning bylaw modernization, and I suppose I would affirm personally my commitment to approaching those conversations and all of the future conversations on such topics with the utmost respect, and to ensure that that public input is heard and considered, of course, as part of those processes. So thank you.
Thank you for that. Mr. Denning, are you able to speak to the procedural aspects of the letter?
I mean, I may actually hand that over to Mr. Armstrong, who actually was dealing with legal counsel directly on it. I may.
Thank you very much. Mr. Armstrong?
Yeah, I guess we're all reflecting on this letter, and I'll just be a bit briefer than the I think the profound statements from Councillor Rutley. But as a department, as an organization, we value procedural fairness, and David James did bring this to our attention before Christmas, or before the public hearing, and at that time we reviewed the staff report, and within the staff report, it spoke specifically to when the public hearing, what date the public hearing would be scheduled. So from a procedural fairness perspective, we wanted to double check that everything was correct, and our legal counsel has advised us that in directing first reading in light of that staff report, that met basically the intent of the bylaw, and and I think we probably could have communicated better when Mr. James first raised this issue. So that's one to reflect on. We had all intents of responding, and that may not have occurred. So, all that being said, it was the most attended public hearing in the town of Golden, and since I've been here, yeah, and I can provide that information for council and the proponent, and I'll be following up, not the proponent, with the member of the community. I'll be following up with him in writing as well.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that follow-up. Anything else, council, on this item? If there's not, is there anything else council wants to bring forward from the action items? Seeing, hearing none, we'll go on to external correspondence for information purposes. There's a letter from Mr. Peraz with regards to speaking about the aftermath of the tragedy at Trembler Ridge and its implications, the implications of which reach into every municipality within the province of BC. Referencing these severe acts of violence that British Columbia has experienced. Speaks to many aspects of this. I think that's for the notes. And the letter also speaks to the need for structural reform and draws attention to the fact that by standing together, local governments can accomplish a number of different points that he brings forward. And saying that it's not a political issue, it's a civic issue, and that transparency, destigmatization, and shared accountability are some of the strongest foundations of public safety. That's that item. The next item is correspondence from Spell Machine, making us aware of the information they submitted to SILGA, the Southern Interior Local Governments Association, on behalf of the Township of Spell Machine, requesting a BC Building Code amendment. And it provides the resolution there and provides a rationale for doing so. The last item of information is, actually, no, that would be the last one there, and I'm on to the next grouping. My apologies. So next we're going on to internal correspondence. There's none. There's some outgoing correspondence. And that's the two items. I'm double fisting it here. One is letter under my signature to Eva with regards to the tennis courts and drawing attention to that council had asked staff to proceed with option 1 in the report, and that was the flatland zone as presented in the staff report. The other letter is a letter response to Mr. Taylor with regards to policing transition reserve fund establishment. And if folks were able to attend the standing committee on finance, there is a large discussion that has gone on and will continue to go on. So the letter to Mr. Taylor says that we will be discussing it as we have been to this point in time at the finance committee meeting, and our intent is to actually reconvene the finance committee meeting after the regular open accounts meeting. So with that, we'll go on to council reports. Councilors' opportunities to provide information of activities you've carried on in the community the last couple of weeks with your hat on as a counselor. Counselor Manuel?
Okay. Thank you, as usual. Couple of things. I'm on the board of the Okanagan Regional Library, as you know, and on our policy and planning committee, we're addressing there's an issue with the ORL because they've got more than 30 branches, and occasionally each branch may respond to something and create their own land acknowledgement, which creates a fair bit of confusion and sometimes ill feeling. So we decided we should do one of our own that was for the whole ORL. And we came up with something, and that was fine. And then after we left it, it was wordsmith, and it came down to our normal meeting, full board meeting, and we changed it again. But we did come up with something. Which I'm not going to read to you because, yeah. And it was complicated because there's, I believe, 5 nations in the ORL area we serve, and an innumerable number of bands. So we tended to stay away from that kind of thing. We try to not, deal with it in a way which is neutral and appreciated, hopefully. And let's see. I attended a meeting, climate change, climate cafe organized by WildSite. The subject was housing, and it was it was well attended, including our director of planning, plus our previous town or building inspector, who's still welcome around here. It was interesting. There's a lot of good ideas come out, but it was a bit concerning because almost all of them called for some kind of government funding, which I'm becoming more skeptical of as we go forward. And let's see. Yeah, that's it. Well, I think there's one more, but I'll leave it. Oh yeah, climate change. I'm sorry. I'm going to be posting some information to you all about climate change, dealing with resources in terms of disinformation, misinformation, etc., as they seem to be getting more prevalent all the time. And I'll leave it to that.
Thank you. Any questions for Councilor Manuel? We'll move on to Councilor Hamburg.
Yeah, thank you, Worship. I attended there was an emergency meeting for the Kootenai East Regional Hospital District meeting, which was held last week. And that was regarding some extra funding that was needed to complete the 3rd floor addition for cancer care at the Kootenai East Regional Hospital Board. Basically, the province held us over the barrel and said, you either come up with money or we're going to pull a project. So that was a pretty nasty move by the province. And we let them know that, but we did approve to say, okay, our money's on the table, build the thing, because it was going to be delayed again for 2 more years. So no response yet from the province as to where they are at it with it now, but that's something to watch and make sure that they get it done. So
Thank you, Councilor Hamburg. Any questions of Councilor Hamburg? Actually, a quick one comes to mind for me, Councilor Hamburg. Have you guys evaluated the financial impacts of that latest request / demand of Interior Health?
you mean what the taxation impact will be?
Yes, to the
Yeah.
residents of the East Kootenai Regional Health Board area.
Yeah, I can't tell you the tax rate increase, but because there's already $2 million that has been budgeted for, that was put up for contingencies. There's enough in the contingency to take $2 million so that the tax burden will increase by 5 million rather than 7. But I can't tell you what the rates are.
Okay, thank you. Sorry to put you on the spot.
No problem.
Any other council reports? Councilor Guil?
Thank you, Your Worship. I attended the Age Friendly meeting on February 25th, and it was basically a recap of what's going on in the community with the food bank and different other organizations. And then on the 26th, I attended the meeting at the Chamber of Commerce with Michael Hauer from the Export Navigator. And it was a very interesting opportunity to get some information with regards to market diversification interprovincially. And it was actually, it was really good. And if anybody would like any information about that, I could pass it on to you, because there's some upsides to some of the things that are going federally. So I left feeling objectively better. That was good. It was a good meeting.
Thank you for that. Any questions of Counselor Will? See none. Any other council reports? Counselor, we'll go with Counselor Cooper. Ladies first.
I just wanted to say I attended the Kicking Horse Culture meeting this week, and shout out to them for their Ember Fest. That was the previous week before, which included a lot of new events. There was concerts with 4 venues, 10 bands. It was really an expanded event this year as kind of a celebration. So that was amazing. I was actually excited to be able to be one of the geese. I was a goose in the Ember Fest, which was fun. And I always love the evening event since my kids were little. So I really had a great time with that. Kicking Horse Culture is also going to be having a survey where they want to hear from the residents regarding what they'd like, what's upcoming, what they enjoy. Currently, it was going to be on the webpage. I was just checking. It's not on the webpage yet, but if you are interested in filling out a survey for Kicking Horse Cultures, go down to the art gallery. I believe they're going to have paper copies in the URL code there. I also attended the OCP planning for the Spirit Square washrooms. Was that last? I didn't write a date down. In the last 2 weeks at some point. The 19th. It was great. There was a diverse group around the table. I appreciated hearing lots of opinions from late night users to kids during the daytime to unpaid use, much paid use. It drew attention to where there was power. And what a really nice consensus I felt around the table was that the envisioning of the Spirit Square and the washrooms, what it would be like, was people were keeping in mind what was good for our community and locals, but also for tourism. So tourists and what it would be like. I forgot also about the farmers market that is there. And I just like the fact that it was a shared vision, that it wasn't just a space for one diverse, it was for diversity. It was for many groups, and trying to put across the integrity of what that space could be for a wide range, I thought was very productive. So it was a great overall presentation and conversation with a variety.
Thank you for that. Any questions of Counselor Cooper? Counselor Routley?
Thank you, Mayor Ozus. I will go backwards in time. On
Was
the
that Pacific Daylight Time or Mountain? I had to slide that in
No,
there somewhere.
it's strictly Greenwich Mean Time. Everything else is an addition or subtraction therefrom. On the 27th of February, had the opportunity to pop into the senior center and enjoy, as always, some fantastic soup from Chef Wolfgang, and in this case a very worthy cause as a fundraiser marking the 4th anniversary of the illegal occupation and invasion of Ukraine. It was fantastic showing in the community, and yeah, just it went to show how firmly our community feels around that. Before that, on the 26th, also attended the Export Navigator session at the chamber, wearing a separate vest with my private work, but some great opportunities and strings that came out of for the public realm as well. Yes, on the 21st, had the extreme privilege to participate in my own sense with Emberfest. I thank, and my hands go up to Logan and to Fran at Kicking Horse Culture for yet another fantastic year, and to be able to lend my voice simply for the purposes of portraying the fantastic work that those volunteers have given over the past number of weeks to capture their own positive futurisms. It was, every year is powerful, but this year feels like the most powerful one yet. I look forward already to next year. And then finally on the 19th, I had the privileged to have been invited to sit in at the Child Care Resources and Referral Center at the Early Years Center there, and chat with and listen to, hear directly from folks within the community around pathways to home, a session spearheaded by Ben Posmus with Diverse Family Roots and Lisa Gates at Selkirk College, where they went through a guided session around how diverse housing needs might be addressed within the community, and the OCP consultants were there and engaged the folks. So it was a great opportunity to see what the next 3 years of vision could look like for unlocking housing for people within our community with diverse needs, and that includes from the get-go there was a recognition that it wasn't just the people in that room, but everyone else that wasn't included or wasn't able to make it, including seniors and new families, and so really a moving session, a couple of hours, super productive. I will share the report as well as the really gorgeous graphic that Lisa had put together around one subset of our community's vision around who needs to be around the table to keep talking about diverse housing in our community. And luckily enough, they already have a site set aside ready to get it rolling. They just need that Old Town Works Yard ready to go, and they already have a grand plan for it. So it's really, it was a great opportunity, and look forward to the continued discussions.
Thank you for that. Is there any questions for Councilor Routley other than from Mr. Armstrong? Councilor Manuel?
Just briefly, I also attended the,
This is not a question for Councilor
No.
Routley? Okay, we'll deal with that first. So you have a supplemental for your
Yes.
report? Is that what I'm hearing? Okay.
I was also at the most recent age-friendly meeting, and which is the focus of any was largely on transportation, because a lot of seniors are having issues with transportation considerations. There were some possibilities for possible assistance in the future, but I'm not going to comment more on that because I don't know enough. And also I went to Amberfest, which was amazing, and it was a great deal of fun. And I took part in it in a very, very minor thing. Several of our councillors and Mr. Petrovic were geese, bringing in the king and queen, as it were. And also Mr. Petrovic and I were we took it a bit serious. We started making geese sounds. If that's what they were, damned if I know.
Thank you. Any other reports? Then I'll start off, and I was going to leave this one for last, but I'll go with it first. While the recent announcement of BC going into permanent daylight savings time is not an item on tonight's agenda, I just want to let you know that council is welcome to provide a notice of motion to have this discussion at a future date and direct staff to report back on options and recommended steps processes. And please know that myself in my role, as well as the CAO in his role, are already having conversations with our counterparts. And I will say across the those communities that are within the mountain time zone. I had the opportunity to attend a couple of the OCP focus group sessions, interesting conversation with lots of input coming through both the handed in and the online portals. Now I'll shift to the CSD board meeting, and there's going to be a bunch out of there because CSD has gone through draft 2 of the 2026 budget with a projected CSRD requisition increase to the municipality of 3.47%. That represents an additional $30,000 increase in the budget over 2025 for a total requisition from the CSRD to the municipality of $894,313 for 2026. There's a list of services that the municipality pays for, including regional services for $183,000, the arena for $385,000, library for $165,000, and emergency preparedness for $82,000. As an example, if you want more details on those numbers, I can get them to you. Also, that in accordance with policy F3, the electoral area community works fund, previously that was known as the gas tax fund. The board approved access to the electoral area community works fund up to $50,000 for the Golden District Centennial Arena Golden District Centennial Arena rink lighting project. So I'd like to extend a thank you to Director Cathcart for those contributions from her community works funds. Also note that the CSRD has been working with the resorts of the Canadian Rockies since a moratorium on development was placed on the Kicking Horse Mountain Resort community in early 2019. The community asked that the resort contribute financially to the development of the fire service in the community, as identified in the development plan from 2009. RCR committed to building a fire hall in the community and leasing it back to the CSRD to the service by January of 2026. No, it's March of 2026. Agreements were sent to RCR in August of 2024, but were never finalized. To date, no construction has commenced. Staff have brought this matter to the attention of the RCR leadership, and they have made assurances that the agreements will be executed and the fire hall will be built in the summer of 2026. Relevance to the town of Golden is we made a commitment to RCR, to the regional district more accurately, to provide some level of service, fire protection service to the resort area, and staff would be able to speak to that in detail, and not necessary at this point in time, but staff would have more detail on that. I'd also draw attention to the fact that in the meeting, the electoral area aid director provided some grants and aid to the tune of $2,000 for the BC Rural Center Society for the 2026 Keeping It Rural Conference, and $1,890 to Golden Kicking Horse Alpine Team Society for support membership and coach development. I'll also note that the board approved the real allocation of the $110,357 from the Town of Golden Area Economic Opportunity Fund to the Golden and Area A Trail Alliance for the Golden to Nicholson Active Transportation Corridor Project. This was with council's concurrence, and I have the trail plan available if anybody'd like to see it. Excuse me. Changes to the CSRD's core facilities funding contribution service establishment bylaw number 577 states such that the maximum amount that may be requisitioned annually for the core facilities funding contribution service shall not exceed $156,250. As we are going through our budgeting process, we recognize that for fiscal year 2026, the 20% operating cost is actually near or has already exceeded that amount. There are some discussions and opportunities ongoing to try and be able to make up that difference without having to go back to the for a referendum. I'll also draw attention to the fact that there are some changes in the Environmental Services Department developed a Fire Smart tipping fee waiver form for residents to dispose of all their fire smart materials. Historically, it was a honor system that did not work for either the CSRD, the contractor, or generally for the public. So with that new change, there will be a process by which people who have had fire smart assessments done on their property can get a waiver of any tipping fees at the landfill. There are also some other changes in that there's now a $5 site user fee charged for yard and garden waste, unless the material is disposed of to the landfill site during the designated free period. So we've gone away from the free periods in the spring and fall to free all the time to now a $5 tipping fee all the time other than the spring and fall events. I'll leave it at there because I don't have much of a voice left. Any questions? Counselor Manuel?
I understand with RCR and the new fire department up there that they're paying for a lease of it. Now, I thought I underheard something on the radio, something like that. They're also had to pay a certain money, portion, that the CSRD might have to pay a portion of the expense of the fire hall?
And
Or did I get that wrong?
I can't speak to what you heard, nor can I speak to the details of this, just that there is an agreement in place between RCR and the regional district. And there's also agreement in place between the regional district and the town of Golden for the provision of service. We have nothing to do with the actual facility. We're talking about services. That's as much as I can go into it, that I'm aware of. Leave it at that. Anything else, council? Thank you for that. Then when we move on to reports from committee, we have a number of recommendations, resolutions from the Standing Committee on Finance that was held on the February 17th. Specific to the 2026-2030 operating budget, recreation services. Should we deal with them all at once or one at a time? All at once. Look at this. Everybody's nodding their head. So there's 4 recommendations there. If somebody wants to read them out aloud, they can go ahead. I am not going to. They're on the board there for folks to be able to see. I'm looking for a mover of those resolutions. Councillor Routley, sent by Councillor Guio. Any discussion on any one of those? Seeing and hearing none. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried unanimously. Now we're on to reports from staff. We have the Chief Administrative Officer, verbal update from the CAO, Mr. Dendegar.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just let you know that a conversation has been started today between RDK, CSRD, and First Nations on this side of the province. I may have accidentally started a virtual working group. So we'll be all working together to coordinate so that we can make sure all elected officials in this affected area can view things in context of how we might be able to work together to have a united approach to it, rather than, one time zone in the town of Golden and another one in area A. That can be fun. So that work will be ongoing. So if the public are curious, just reach out to staff for a response you can provide them. Otherwise, we'll be responding online to questions. But more will come to council when we get some options for you to consider. In corporate services and communications, update that the Ready Grant Public Forum will take place this Wednesday at 5 p.m. right here in council chambers and online via Zoom. There are 20 applications under consideration for 2026. So please go ahead and visit golden.ca/ready, REDI, if you want to find out what all those 20 applications are about. Finance has been busy with budget. So there's that. Planning and development, also busy. They had a lot of OCP engagement this last week, and stakeholder session was held about Spirit Square, which got to hear from some council members who attended. The new washroom conversation is being taken into consideration of downtown in that area. So that washroom itself, just as a reminder, that is through the resort development strategy, which is funded by RMI. But before we just plunk down a washroom somewhere, we want to make sure that it fits in with the grander scheme for that area. Planning and Development also approved a phase strata subdivision for the second phase of the Timber Ridge townhouses on Granite Drive. So there we are, approaching our 5,000 population. Protective services, after months of optimization, the Pump One truck is finalizing equipment optimization and is set up to ensure it's at the highest capacity to protect our town come wildfire season, which, given this weather, could be sooner rather than later. The Golden Area Emergency Program is working with internal staff, myself, and directors to roll out incident command training to all designated town staff at all levels to ensure that there's awareness and a comfort level with potential activation of an EOC and what roles those will be. As well, the emergency program is working with Golden Fire Rescue to create a mock wildfire exercise EOC level 2 activation, currently aiming for the end of April. So it was often called a tabletop exercise. So lots of good developments in that realm. Public Works, in regards to the Golden CED downtown commercial and affordable housing project. If you haven't seen it on Facebook, there's a notice out there about a road closure tomorrow between 9th Avenue, right in front of the development. So from 8 a.m. Wednesday until 5 p.m. Thursday, there's a very large crane that's going to be hoisting things. So we have unfortunately had to close the road, but notifications have gone out online into all the surrounding businesses. We apologize, but that is unfortunately one of the costs of development is there is disruption. There will be a couple other closures as well, and we'll make sure we notify the businesses and online as well, so people can drive around it. Community winter cleanup is occurring already earlier than normal. So a few hours a day of sweeping and washing and all the other good things that come with the spring. So the public may see some buzzing bees around doing that. And it will be very much dependent upon the weather because we don't know if there's a winter number 2 or 3 coming, but Public Works will respond as necessary to keep things clean as we can. Finally, in recreation services, the bid package for the KKMP Racket Courts landscaping is now posted on our website. Package closes in March, the end of March. Acknowledgement again that project funding supplied by CBT, Climate Adapted Community Grant, to help top up that landscaping. And then that will be coming back to council once we get those proposals from the proponents to see what the best option forward is. Arena is busy over spring break, upcoming minor hockey provincials playoffs and Raucous junior hockey playoffs. So lots of things to see. And last but not least, recruitment for aquatic staff is ongoing, making good progress, but could always do better. So please let everyone know we're looking for people to help out in the pool. It's a great team, but we always need more hands on deck. Thank you.
I like how you slid in the all hands on deck. I'm going to be so bold as to say, to add a little bit with the READY grants. READY, RE_DI, is resident directed, and that's probably the longest standing program of the Columbia Basin Trust, historically known as the affected area, community initiatives affected areas funding. I believe that's about $300,000 that goes into our community on an annual basis. It's great to see 20 applicants there. The tough job that group has, that's for sure. Any questions for Mr. Denegar with regards to his report? I would have another comment with regards to the sweeping. It's great to hear that is happening because already getting lots of phone calls with regards to dust and air quality, the impacts on air quality locally, and it's the big particulate from the roads. Any other questions, Councilor Manuel? No.
Damn. So
I'm biting my tongue.
it's all right.
Okay, and so with that, we will move on to a staff report from Mr. Denegar with item 10AB with regards to EOF funds request for from the CSRD.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Much like the report I brought forward for the last EOF request from the CSRD, we're kind of just packaging up their report and sharing it with you here. But the summary of it is that they're hoping to allocate estimated $40,000 to do a low-level flight over Golden and surrounding area to get detailed topographical information so that they can better control mosquitoes this season and future. We did look into what we might already have to see if we could find some cost savings for them. And unfortunately, the LiDAR data that we last had done a few years ago was done at a much higher altitude and not in the same detail, nor at exactly the right time of year when we can find all the low spots, right? So it's very particular. They're working towards a very tight timeline to get this done so it has maximum usefulness to them. So it is recommended both at the RD and Town of Golden level by staff that this move forward because it should help make a significant difference to their combating the mosquitoes.
Thank you for that. Any questions or information needed from council prior to getting a resolution on the table? If not, we'll look to a resolution. Question, please.
I have a question because, so the EOF, I know it's not our policy, it's the CSRD's policy. This is like mosquito control is a taxable service that the CSRD provides. So this would be making that service better, correct? So how can it be considered and qualify for EOF funds?
I'm just gonna go out on a limb here unless anybody from the RD is online and wants to speak to it. They were invited to the meeting, but it's seen as a one-time project to assist this program. And we know from the complaints received last year that mosquitoes do have a very significant impact on tourism. Like we saw that in our local campground and the region's golf course and so forth. So I think it was a matter of finding some available funds without any sort of ongoing cost to it, as would typically be done with a tax-based thing. Whether or not they had other reserves or stabilization accounts that they could have funded it from, that's very much up to the RD. Do we have anybody else on? Dirk? Oh, we've got Dirk here. We found if Dirk's available. And
Mr. Lewis, are you able to speak to the question from Councilor Wheel? You're muted. Oh, there you are.
Yeah, no, I can't speak to the taxation question. I'm just here for sort of the technical side of the mosquito control and the LiDAR and how that might benefit.
So could you speak to the benefits of the investment of these $40,000 into the LiDAR information?
Yeah, so we run the mosquito program. One of the biggest challenges for us is finding the low spots and the easier spots to treat out in the wetland. Access is very difficult. And now there are technologies coming on that will help us in the near term find these lower spots sort of at lower water levels that we hadn't been able to find before. So this allows some predictive ability, more targeted approach for our field crews and better sampling methods, but also at the same time, the CSRD, I'm not sure if the township or town of Golden participated, but a letter went out from the CSRD asking the province to kind of accelerate the use of drones for mosquito control, all pesticides, but in this case, mosquito control. And this is a planning tool that will significantly help that. We anticipate it'll come online next year. So this is helping in the near term, map and find and then predict these low elevation areas where the mosquitoes come from in the wetland, and then preparing the region and the city or the town for next year when the drones come online.
Thank you for that. Any follow-up, Councilor Quill?
I don't want to stand anywhere like between mosquito control at all, because my business did suffer from mosquito control. It's not the point. The issue for me is, again, the funds coming from something that's taxation based. Well, it should be taxation based.
Could be
It
tax.
could be taxation based unless they had money put away and using something they have a policy for. So did this come like to you, Your Honor, did this come to the board first to be discussed before it came to us? Like, did no one bring up the fact that EOF funds have a policy and what the policy is for?
Mr. Deniger, you able to speak to that policy F?
Yeah, so this was presented through staff first. So it was discussed amongst CSRD staff, and then they brought it to staff here. So my presumption is that they all spoke to each other, and there were some conversations where they were literally running down the room while I was on hold, asking each other questions, because we were also talking about timing on it. And then I don't know if you had a chance to read the 5 bulleted points at the bottom of their staff report, which they'll be bringing to the board, which is how they view it as the economic benefits of this as a project versus, again, a one-time project with multiple economic benefits, primarily the mosquito control program. But as they mentioned in here, it could have other impacts on other economic endeavors, as well as opportunity to leverage other grants. So internally within the RD, they were seeing it as applicable within the EOF program, maybe not something there is common within that program, but it does fit as far as they see it. So as long as council's comfortable with their logic there in their report, we could certainly move ahead with the vote on that at your discretion. Or if you wanted further information, you could request a delegate of staff actually from the regional district. But I just caution that timing is quite sensitive on this one. Because if we miss the opportunity, that perfect timing, we're not going to get the low points that are going to help them out.
By virtue of
Foliage and water.
Any follow-up, Councilor Grill?
No, I'm all for mosquito control.
Mosquito
just-
nuisance control.
Yeah, my concern is that, there'll be other projects that they're taxing for already. That will come up and we're gonna use EOF funds for that. When it's a taxable service. But I'm not gonna block this one. This is mosquito control is really important.
And as far as supplemental information, that particular program is funded, is it not, Ms. Brown? Kind of in a unique fashion in that the CSOD taxes for the CSOD, the town of Golden taxes for the CSOD's requisition for the program. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Thank you. I have Councilor Hamburg with his hand up, a question or comment.
That's more of a comment, but I share Councilor Goyo's concerns with this funding coming from the EOF for a currently tax-funded program. Yeah, I'm having difficulty with it. I will very likely vote against it.
Thank you for that. Any other comments? If not, let's get a resolution on the floor. Councilor Routley.
Thank you, Mayor. Happy to move the recommendation to support the request.
Councilor Manuel seconding that. Any more questions, queries with regards to speaking to the motion? Seeing hearing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Carried unanimously. Thank you very much for the report. So now, council, we move on to 10B, which is planning and development. Mr. Armstrong, you have a staff report for council with some very long resolutions.
This is, I think, the fourth time this is coming for a council. So in brief, later on the council agenda, the zoning bylaw will be considered for adoption. And on the heels, so to speak, but previous, the way the council agenda is set up, we now have the opportunity, or sorry, by we, I mean you, have the opportunity to consider granting the floodplain exemption that's been enclosed the report since council first saw it, as well as trigger the frontage sidewalk requirement in the subdivision development servicing bylaw. There's currently a sidewalk on the highway. However, there isn't one on the other frontage of this property. It's an identified gap in the active transportation plan and would link up subject property to eventually, when the fire hall property gets touched or redeveloped, there would be continuity to 11th Avenue South, where there's sidewalk going all the way north to the river. Yeah, if there's any questions, please go ahead.
Council, any comments, questions for clarification prior to getting a resolution on the floor? Councilor Routley.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm certainly supportive of the floodplain exemption, and I suppose with the frontage improvements relative to the sidewalk. My only concern is, and it's something that has come up with a number of other developments where we have these contributed assets, particularly on the frontage, riverfront, or Riverstone, there we are. Thank you. Riverstone, with the very beautiful frontage and the sidewalks there. The question was raised, and I'll raise again in this context, around the financial sustainability of adding another, say, I'm gonna guess it's 120-foot deep lot, sidewalk only to that laneway, and whether the staff would expect that the uplift in assessment value that will likely be experienced by the construction of this, if that would support the operating and eventual replacement costs of that actual piece of sidewalk. Because I don't want us to keep talking about contributed assets, and then kind of just accept it and kick the can down the road again on a built asset. So wrapping it all up, are we sure that while there's certainly the social benefit and the frontage improvement benefits of requiring the sidewalk, are we sure that this development will actually be able to pay, in essence, through the additional taxation raised for the life cycle costs of the sidewalk?
Mr. Armstrong, you able to respond?
Yes, we put a bit of work into the contributed asset section of this report, and it equates to about $350 a year for the lifespan of the asset. And I think it's important to note that there are construction efficiencies, and I'll thank 1122's contractor for costing out both whether he was doing just the sidewalk or whether they were doing the sidewalk along with the other work on the property, to kind of give that context to why a frontage improvement is an opportune time when development is happening. There's a significant cost benefit. So yes, we're getting kind of half the sidewalk currently, and maybe in the next 5-10 years we'll have the other sidewalk. But the sidewalk has a very long lifespan, and it benefits, I think, more than just that frontage. Although there are many people that will be parking along 12th Ave that will utilize that, or beyond, that will benefit from that sidewalk. Now, to the question of whether the improved assessed value of that project will contribute additional $350 a year for the foreseeable future, if I had to guess, well, I'd hesitate. We haven't done that at a commercial taxation rate, but I think it goes beyond, like I said, where I was heading with my previous comments. It goes beyond just that frontage, and I think particularly in a commercial context where you often see sidewalks on both sides of the street. Granted, this is a bit of a peripheral area in the current context, and probably for the foreseeable future. I think there are times where we'd go, oh, we don't need sidewalks on both sides, but perhaps this is an important linkage that council should consider triggering.
Thank you. Any follow-up? Mr. Janigar?
Just want to point out that technically changes in land value don't change the amount of money we draw in. It just changes the balance of it. That final decision of revenue is with council. So if you want to raise another $320 a year, that will be spread amongst all property owners, and the balance will just be shifted if there's increases in value, right? It's not like they get an extra $320 bill because their property's nicer.
Thank you for that. Question just came up for me through this conversation. Mr. Armstrong, are you able to speak to the zoning of the lands along 10th Avenue to the south of the 1122?
Yeah, it's the intent of that zone. The C5 zoning was to allow compatible transitional commercial uses within the residential framework, and the reality of that is, with this rezoning, is going straight to the C2 zoning has some advantages to it. Less setback requirements, less parking requirements, but ultimately there's some small scale, like personal services like a spa, or even a small restaurant those types of uses are in that C5 transitional commercial use. So they are earmarked for potential, at least currently, commercial redevelopment.
Thank you for that. And for me, this brings to mind the concept that, you know, it's zoned for that appropriate, again, type of commercial development. With that would come increased pedestrian traffic, and that might provide some rationale for growth of that commercial retail area on that side of the Kicking River. With that, if there's no other question of clarification, I lost where we are at in this one. Do we have a resolution on the floor? No, we don't. So we have some. Who wants to read that resolution, the first one? No volunteers? Okay, then. So we have first resolution on the floor, on the board there. I'm looking for a mover. Councillor Routley moving the motion. Councillor Guio seconding it. Any further discussion? Just thank you to staff for the work on this file. We are becoming quite familiar with it. Call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried unanimously. And there's a second resolution with regards to the offsite works. I'm looking for a mover of that. I was going to ask if Councillor Raleigh would let his name have stamp in the second, but I won't do that. Councillor Guio moving that. Councillor Ambrick seconding that motion. Any discussion on the motion with regards to the offsite works? Call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried unanimously. Thank you with that. And we move on to, just gotta have the right agenda here. My apologies. So we're moving on to 11. Are we moving on to 11B or A? Okay. Bylaw number 1510, 2026, Town of Golden, responsible pet ownership and animal control for adoption. There's a big smile on Miss White's face. Look for a mover of that. Councillor Guio, seconded by Councillor Routley. Any discussion, council? Seeing here none. All those in favor? And this was for adoption. Opposed? Carried unanimously, and Ms. White is dancing. We're moving on to 11B. That council adopt bylaw number 1151, 2026, Town of Golden Zone Amendment by Zone Amendment 1122 10th Ave South. Looking for a mover of that, Councillor Guio. Oh, my apologies. Mr. Armstrong?
I made an error when I was updating this bylaw, and it says first reading 3 times. So if maybe we just note in a resolution, or how did you want to deal with this? I'll ask the corporate officer, but just wanted to point out that actually first, second, and third reading did occur on those dates.
We can just do as amended.
So it's first, second, and third reading. Is that what I'm hearing? As amended? Councillor Guio moving that. Councillor Routley seconding that.
Sorry, just for clarity, it's for adoption.
So it's second, third, and adoption?
Just adoption.
Just adoption. Okay. For adoption as amended, Councillor Guio. Second, it's okay for the seconder, Councillor Routley. With that, all those in favor? Opposed? Carried unanimously. Now we move on to new business. Any staff going to speak to this or just the information there? So council, we received a delegation on February 17 that made a request of council to pass a number of things. Pass a motion in support of class action lawsuit against fossil fuel companies. Set aside $1 per resident for lawsuit. And with a note that can be committed in a future bylaw. research into the town of Golden's climate costs, collaborate with other communities in BC that are considering joining the class action lawsuit, and contract the law. Law firm Arve Finlay that has prepared legal opinion on options to hold fossil fuel companies legally accountable, and meet with staff lawyer Andrew Gage from West Coast Environmental Law to answer any remaining questions or concerns. What's the wishes of council? Councilor Manuel?
If I thought this would do any good, I'd be in favor of it, but I think it's, they're trying to raise $500,000, which is a hell of a long way from it. And all that does is they then get certified as a class action suit. That does not mean it goes any further. And with the money that the petrochemicals company, big oil has, I mean, it's 10, 15 years, maybe if anything. And I haven't been able to find a successful suit looking at it online. So yeah, no.
So I'm seeing that there's no desire from yourself, any other desire from any other the other counselors? With that, I will move on to question period. This is an opportunity for those in the virtual gallery or the in-person gallery to ask questions of council with regards to any of the items on the agenda tonight. Going once, going twice, third call. With that, we move to item number 14, which is the motion for adjournment. Councilor Routley, seconded by Councilor Manuel. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried unanimously. So that ends the regular open council meeting of today, March 3rd.